It looks like cheese.
Does look a bit like cheese, yeah. Weird cheese, but cheese. Because it's great. Because it's grated and yellow. Hello, I'm Thom Bateman from the Flintlock at Cheddleton, and today we're going to make some duck fat Rostis with bacon, fried eggs and some fermented hot sauce. It's going to be banging. So first of all, we've got our potatoes, which, because the Roccbox cooks at such a high temperature, we've washed out the natural starch, so we're going to replace that starch with corn flour. So a more hardy starch to take that kind of heat. So first of all, we're gonna heat some of the duck fat in the Roccbox just to get those potatoes started. Just gonna melt that. So that duck fat's melted, it's nice and hot now. We're gonna go in there with the potatoes. That's the right kind of sizzle, really. We don't, if it's screaming when you put it in, then it's too hot. Just gonna stir those around. It's almost like you're doing it on top of a stove. You want to soften those potatoes first and then we'll reform them with the corn flour. That should only take about 5 to 10 minutes in there just to soften off. Once it's really sort of started to go translucent, that's when you know that it's at the stage to take it into the bowl and mix it with the corn flour. So we're joined by some building activity this afternoon, which is making me feel at home, if I was really honest. This was a lovely location and now I feel very much back in Stoke-on-Trent with the building work going on. It's wonderful. It's the soundtrack of my life. That potatoes now, you can feel it sort of, if you squeeze it, it'll form together, and that's that starch acting with the corn flour. We're gonna heat some more duck fat because life is better with more duck fat. Back into the Roccbox and get that up to temperature. You want that reasonably hot, because if it's not hot enough when you put the potato in, it'll just stick. So that fat's nice and hot there, and I'm going to sort of ball up the potato, put it into the fat, press it down. Hear that sizzle straight in. Just going to push those edges in. They will form into a neat pattern. I mean, it's not essential for it to be neat. It's quite nice though. So this is getting ready to turn now. I think the important thing when you're doing this in a Roccbox, obviously very different to doing it on a hob, you've got to trust the heat in there to form the crust on the bottom. Don't be too scared that it's going to burn. As long as you keep an eye on it, you can pull it out as many times as you like. It's just making sure that you trust it to do its thing, to form the crust of the Rosti. Look at the colour of that, the state of that. The duck fat just gives you that beautiful golden colour. When you use animal fat, obviously that's not for everybody, but it gives you a crispier finish. That's science, I believe. And duck fat, other than beef fat, is the crispiest of all the fats. So it goes beef fat, then duck fat, and then some other ones. So now this is ready to come out. I'm going to put this to one side and use the same pan to do the bacon and the eggs in there, because you don't want to waste that duck fat. Let's give it a little dramatic salt fall. Obviously the better quality bacon you use, the better quality your breakfast will be. Obviously the better quality eggs you use, we've got the fancy eggs today as well, because I'm not paying the bill. So straight in with the bacon. That can go in the Roccbox. Don't worry about it being, you know, super flat or whatever. I mean, you can if you want. That's just going to take a couple of minutes in there. So take that out, set that to one side. So the residual heat of the pan should be enough to cook these eggs, but if it's not, we can just quickly flash them in the Roccbox. If you see people doing this, that's wrong. Why would you do that? You're just going to put eggshell in your pan. If you're going to crack an egg, do it on the side. So just going to warm everything through and serve this in a nice cast iron pan. I'm going to make a couple of sauces. We've got something a bit sweet and something a bit spicy. So that's how I like my breakfast. So as simple as mixing honey and ketchup with some black pepper. And also I've got some fermented hot sauce, which I've made and brought with me because it takes a week. It's a 5% brine solution with mixed chilies, whatever chilies you like. You leave that for a week. If you've got it in a sealed jar, make sure you open the lid, otherwise you get a bomb, chili bomb, a spicy explosion in the worst possible way. And then blitz that down. I use sea buckthorn, but you could just use vinegar and garlic oil. And then you get this, which is this lovely vibrant hot sauce. Add a bit of that ketchup, honey. And there we go. Duck fat rosti with crispy bacon, fried egg, honey ketchup and fermented hot sauce, made in the Roccbox. For the full recipe, go to Gozney.com. That's so good. That duck fat just makes it so crispy and delicious. The hot sauce, the sweetness, the egg, salted bacon, winner.